John's just retired from astronautics. He was one of the last men to make a moonwalk. John, are you all right, son? You're white as a sheet and you're trembling.
Nothing I can do. It's happening again. I'm changing.
And in several seconds, we see before us a man-wolf. It runs through the darkness as it hunts its quarry. And that quarry is man. The mark of the man-wolf.
Hello, welcome to the Werewolf by Night podcast. This season, we're talking about Marvel's number 2 lycanthrope, John Jameson, a.k.a. the Man-Wolf. I'm your co-host, Matt Howell.
And I'm Jacob Balcom.
Thanks for joining us this week, listeners. This is episode 2 of season 2, and we are back with the Amazing Spider-Man 125 issue, which is the second part of John Jameson's origin story as a critter. And he's fully crittered. Before we do anything else, we're going to taste our first submission into our drinks contest. If you recall last week, we solicited some drink ideas for this season. And we got one from Michelle from Moonlit Comics, and it's called I forgot what it's called, the Bloodstone Bourbon.
It's a Bloodstone Bourbon Lemonade that she said she took a normal kind of probably a bourbon lemonade and tweaked it. Yeah.
I see you garnished with the fancy Luxardo cherries as well, because you kind of need to with the Bloodstone, right?
Yeah, I would think so. So it's basically like a bourbon lemonade that I was kind of looking online, but a little bit of grenadine makes it nice and bloody. And the Luxardo cherries also has a little bit of vanilla extract, champagne. I'm using Woodford Reserve. What are you using?
Four Roses.
Four Roses, nice.
So, I rolled mine back a little bit. I'm not going to lie. The vanilla extract seemed like enough for like a dozen chocolate chip cookies. So I rolled it back to 1/8 of a teaspoon.
Me too.
And grenadine, I think I did 1/4 of a teaspoon of grenadine instead of a half. I eliminated the simple syrup altogether. I mean, Luxardo cherries are pretty... I mean, they're in a quagmire of sugary syrup. Like they're
really... and also you have a bunch of lemonade in here too, so it's pretty sugary.
Yeah, I got the Santa Cruz organic lemonade. You know, it comes in the big glass jars and the hippie aisle. So hopefully it's not too sweet, but it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it looks really great.
I took some photos, so we'll put those in the feed as well.
Yep, I did too.
Bottoms up. Here's to Michelle.
All right, here it is. Oh man,
that's refreshing.
That is really good. Yeah, I'm actually very impressed.
The champagne's a nice little note there on the finish.
Everything's great. There's just there's a lot going on there. This is pretty fancy for us too. I'm gonna have to say I love it.
Although it looks like I could have built a Pinocchio with all the endeavor on my liquor work table there. That's
I know.
I usually just slosh in some bourbon and a splash of bitters on the rocks with seltzer. That's I'm really low maintenance. So that's very complex for me, but I really like it.
Yeah, I love it. This is going to be tough to beat. I know we have our friend Ben also working on a drink.
Yeah, and we've got another submission as well that was it's coming up. We'll have to do that one next week.
Okay.
I feel like I'm going to have to twist your arm for that one, but
okay.
I will buy you the supplies if you don't want to do it.
Okay. No, this is pretty good though. Michelle's drink is damn good.
Yes, this other one's more of a sight gag almost more than anything else. So yeah. I'm willing to do that.
Okay, I'm in.
Cool. What else? We're still looking for some new rules, right? We just met the Man-Wolf, so we don't know all this funny stuff he does, his kooky old habits.
Yeah.
So we're still operating off of old chestnuts from Werewolf by Night, like does the cover lie about what happens in the issue? Yeah. Does somebody think that the werewolf is actually just a guy in a costume? Those old things. So.
Yep. Tried and true.
When you know them, let us know. Also, I feel I'm going to be honest. I want to taste that drink, so I kind of rushed everything. I want to say thank you first of all to everybody, all the people who've supported us on Patreon so far. Wow, that huge showing! A bunch of people jumped up and chipped in, and we really appreciate it. It means a lot. Super stoked to see all that. And I'm going to try and use it like maybe a little bit like a message board. I don't think people I don't know how much people want to be involved, but I'm going to put up like a what are you reading thread, because you can stick pictures in there, so you can show like a cover of a book, a comic you're reading or something. So if you feel like you want to treat it like a message board and post stuff, awesome. If not, no hard feelings. I don't expect anybody to do anything. I just stoked that people are supporting it. So we have got preview images of the wallpapers that we had commissioned. They're not here yet, but I've seen them. We've seen them. So they're pretty cool.
Oh,
just what I was actually picturing they would look like. So I was pretty happy.
Yeah, I'm real happy.
Yeah, so if you guys are somehow missed the last week's episode, we started a Patreon page. You can go there. It's patreon.com/Werewolf by Night podcast, and different levels of support, different treats and rewards. One of them is a bonus show that we'll be publishing concurrently with every episode. So each episode, we talk about an issue of the Man Wolf story, but afterwards, we're doing a little short bonus show, about 20, 25 minutes, where we're just talking about werewolf movies, other stuff we're reading, records, just kind of hanging out, keeping it nice and short and sweet, and just a little cream on top. So if you want that, go check out the tiers of support on Patreon. Okay. Well, Michelle, good work.
Yeah, excellent work. I'm having another one. I'm not waiting until someone mistakes it for a costume. I'm drinking.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
We should just start tasting drinks. Okay. Well, is there any business I'm forgetting before we just jump into this issue?
I was trying to think of that too. I don't think so. I think we're ready.
Oh, you know what? I was looking into something, and I do need to make a slight change to the reward for whoever wins this. First of all, there's two of us, so I can't wait till we have to break a tie, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's not going to work.
But I was saying we'll throw in a pack brother or pack sister level, which is the top tier. But that doesn't seem to be as easy as I thought it was. So the alternate prize is a Man Wolf t-shirt. There's two different styles. So whatever size you want, if you want the distressed one on white or off-white, or if you want the solid undistressed print on a black t-shirt, that is your prize if we pick your drink, okay? Just wanted to amend that. I forgot that.
Damn. All right, then.
And it's an awesome cover. It is, if you recall the Gil Kane cover where it's the cops, or is it the cops in the front seat and the werewolf is in the rear view?
On Creatures on the Loose?
No, the Werewolf by Night cover.
Werewolf
11.
by Night, I don't think they're cops.
Oh, no, it's just a couple.
Yeah, it's just a couple.
And you see the werewolf in the rear view?
You see the werewolf in the rear view in this
so
one,
this t-shirt that you're going to get if you win is the inverse of that, which is like Jacob was saying, the Creatures on the Loose cover where it's the creature popping out of the back seat at the cops or something?
Yep.
Okay. Who did that one? Do you know?
Ooh, I don't know yet.
Anyway, it's awesome art, and it's kind of the spiritual sister of or brother of the other cover that we were just describing of Werewolf by Night. Sort of. So that's all cleared up. Oh, you know what? There's another errata.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was just, just going, oh, Bloodstone this, Bloodstone that, just talking out of my ass. I guess the Bloodstone, capital B, TM, is a lot more specific. That's Ulysses Bloodstone. And I kind of started going down the rabbit hole. These stones are a series of stones from a mythic source that have different attributes. And so much like how Jeff Johns came in and exploded the lanterns and made everything very complicated, writers added to this stuff throughout the time. So I don't think Bloodstone is technically what John Jameson has in his pendant.
So the Bloodstone was not found on the surface of the moon?
I don't think so.
Oh, all right.
I didn't want to dig too much because I don't want to spoil this. Most of this stuff is new to me. So I just searched Marvel Bloodstone and started reading. And I was like, ooh, is this not actually the same thing as I thought it was like another shard of the same stone that was in Ulysses Bloodstone or
okay.
I forgot his daughter's name.
We'll just plow forward, and when we get there, we'll figure it out.
I just want to be the first to admit when I'm wrong, or at least I don't know what I'm talking about, because
so you're pre-admitting that you're wrong.
I'm pretty sure I was wrong.
Okay, all right. I'm here for you. I support you.
Enough of my nonsense. Enough of my yakking. So this cover is cover dated October 1973. And the art is by John Romita Sr. He did the pencils. And the inks were by the guy we talked about last issue for the actual body of the issue, Tony Mortellaro. Mortellero?
Yes.
I feel like I spelled it wrong every time I wrote it in my notes. Yeah, and if you recall, he's the guy that Ramita said, F him, don't send him any makeup checks, just give them to me. I paid him myself out of my own pocket. Which I chuckled about that all week.
Oh, I did too. Oh no, it's great. I mean, he goes on too. I mean, this is a truncated version of his rant about it, which
I'm
I
sure.
love. Yeah,
I'm sure. Okay,
No.
so we're looking at the cover of Amazing Spider-Man 125. And this one has a really nice flow, again, with the eye, the same way that last issue did, where your eye kind of starts out in the lower left-hand corner where there's a damsel in distress because it's the 70s. And she is being held by the man-wolf, and they're standing in a fancy sports car, like a Bentley or something. I don't know cars, man. So it looks expensive.
yes.
And the werewolf has her in one arm, and then he's backhanding or backfisting Spider-Man, who's standing at the windshield. And there's a whole lot of action going on here. And the girl is saying, Spider-Man, stay back. You can't save me. And then your eye follows to the man-wolf who is hitting Spider-Man. He's reeling back as he's saying, no, I won't let you die. Not like Gwen. Not like Gwen. Took a little liberty there, but there were several ends. So I thought I could.
No, that's actually really accurate. It's very dramatic.
And he's definitely hiding his identity there very well there. And it says the man-wolf strikes again. I love the depth here, just like last issue's splash page, and where your eyes just are shooting down these planes of depth in the city, and the foreground action is just a very simple path that your eye follows pleasingly and makes you want to just turn the page and keep going.
But did you notice the little hidden Easter egg in this one?
Now that you started to say it, I did.
So in the background, if you give it just a quick look, it's like a sign that would say motel. If you look a little closer, it actually says Mortel. And Ramita, as we had talked about last issue, mentioned that Tony Mortellero liked to put his name in the backgrounds. Sometimes he would do half of his name and put the other half somewhere else in the issue. I don't think he actually does inks in this issue, so that's all we're going to get. But yeah, that's a Mortel in the background.
So that I doubt he sticks around much, but that's something that could potentially be a drinking game drink if he were the inker for the bulk of the series. But I doubt he is.
No, he is not. I think this is the last time we see him, sadly enough.
So a couple things. Does this suggest to us that Christine Saunders is wealthy? This car looks like a really expensive, like a Rolls Royce or something, right?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I had notes on it later when the car showed up, but I'm pretty sure it's the same car that Sally McMillan drives in McMillan and Wife that is really big at this point. And I think it's, if not this issue, I think it's in the giant size superheroes that we're going to talk about next week. The back little explanation by Roy Thomas, he actually makes that comparison of the giant size books being like the NBC mystery movie and lists McCloud and McMillan and Wife. Wow. And so, yeah, I'm thinking this is a direct McMillan and Wife reference. I was looking at the car. It's neither of us should try to talk like we know anything about cars because we don't, but it's a fancy car and it looks like Sally's. So yeah. that's where I'm going to stop. But I know it seems like she like Christine comes from money.
Yes. Okay, good. I was just assuming, but now you're making me question that because of the whole McMillan and Wife thing.
I'm always thinking about McMillan and Wife. I
know. I really like Tony's inks on the man-wolf's fur here. Nothing really showy, but just solid. You know, I'm a fur guy.
Oh, I know.
I'm not a furry. I'm a fur guy.
You're
fan.
A fur guy.
Furrier.
You're a fan of the fur. You're a farrier. Yeah.
And I don't want to get all technical, but Pete doesn't actually start screaming about his dead ex-girlfriend in his superhero disguise. So that's technically not what happens in this issue.
He really doesn't. And I don't know if this actual scene takes place. So I'm having 2 drinks to that.
Kind of does, doesn't it? Kind of,
but let's take the opportunity.
I remember last season you got very, very niggling with these things.
Yeah.
Like there weren't 4 petals on that flower.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to be a bit more reasonable this season, but yeah, no, I regret nothing.
I don't either. Let's go
All right.
on. Let's
Yeah,
dig
let's
in.
move on to this opening page. So, the opening page title of the story is Wolfhunt, which is not what they told us last issue. Last issue, the teaser title was Wolf Pact, spelled P-A-C-T, which is a pretty cheesy pun that someone in editorial obviously rejected, right? Someone.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like a pun if it, like,
There was no bargain struck. There was no agreement.
There was no. It wasn't rooted in anything to be punny. It was just, the Wolfhunt's not any better.
No, Wolfhunt's not any better. But I would think that was Roy Thomas that nixed that, because no one gets to make puns but Roy.
Right.
He owns all the puns.
Have that page boy haircut either.
No. Yeah, let's get on to the creators for the issue. Same writer as last time. We have Jerry Conway. Artist is Ross Andrew. The inkers are John Romita and Tony Mortallero. Artie Simak letterer, Dave Hunt colorist, and Roy Thomas as editor. And you remember we had Ross Andrew as the artist for Marvel Team Up 12 when Jack went to San Francisco, fought Moondark. I was able to pull that out. He's the most forgettable of all Werewolf by Night villains. And that was the last time we saw Ross Andrew. I think we talked about this during that episode, but I have to say it again. He was born Rostislav Andrukovich.
I remember it was something like that. Gun to my head, I couldn't have pulled either one of those names out.
So cool. Like, I understand why you shorted it, but man, that is a cool fucking name. And little bio, for those of you that might have forgotten, he did a ton of work for DC in the 50s and 60s with his, his most frequent collaborator was Mike Esposito. They had like an 8-year run on Wonder Woman, just something, really, really long. He did lots of cool stuff. He left for Marvel in 1970, stayed till 78 when he went back to DC as an editor. And so this issue is the first issue in a very long career he's going to have illustrating Amazing Spider-Man. It's a 5-year run.
Yeah.
Where he's the main guy. I mean, he takes some months off, but the bulk of the next 5 years of the main Spider-Man title is going to be penciled by Ross Andrew.
And what do you think of that?
I think it's okay. I mean, he's probably not in my top 5. I just think I think he gets the job done. I think it suffers because Mike Esposito is not the inker most of the time on this. I think they both work really well together, but I think they had some disappointing experiences at Skywald just a little bit before this. And so I don't think they weren't working together, but it seems like Ross Andrew was working with a lot of other inkers, whereas for years he solely worked with Mike Esposito.
And they were friends in school or something, right? Weren't they? Didn't they grow up together? Or they'd been friends forever and had been partners forever. So I can understand not being enamored with Ross Andrew's Spider-Man, but I've always liked it because of it's like a scratchy wool blanket it's going to warm me up. It's, exactly what it's going to be. Like, it's just like, it's very clean. Like you're saying, it's very workmanlike. Just flipping through any one of these, like, it just looks like this could be a sticker in a 70s sticker book. Like, I don't know. Like, it's very like Kraft mac and cheese. Like, it's just like, it's comforting.
Yeah. It's comforting, but you don't want to, it's the comforter that you've had forever that is like stained and gross. You don't really want pictures taken of it, but it feels so good. No, Ross Andrew is an amazing artist. I just think that his Spider-Man pencils kind of bore me a little bit. They remind me of like the Slurpee cup designs from the 70s and 80s of Spidey. And he does a great job, but I think this is one step removed from Spidey Super Stories art, which is Mortimer Wynn, I think. But it's not my favorite. I mean, I think I think I came to a clear decision last week that my favorite, not the best, but my favorite Spider-Man artist would be Gil Kane being inked by Romita.
That's a good pairing.
Yeah, I think it's the best pairing.
That's like filet mignon and Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah, no, it works so well. I noticed on one of the Instagram posts we did last week, a guy named I think who I'm a big fan of his actually. His name's Carl Heitmuller Jr. He's a cartoonist. He has a strip that's in back issue. It's called Prince Street News. It's really, really funny. He does 2 full pages each issue, and they're super great. And yeah, he had commented on that page that's the best pairing for Spider-Man is Gil Kane and John Romita.
I like Kurt Busiek. I'm not gonna lie, but there's a little beef we had on Instagram and Twitter where somebody just added us because Busiek just basically was just out of nowhere, like saying everybody in these days says the worst comic ever published was the shittiest one you read in the last 6 months, and comic fans have a very short memory. He said these people should try reading any of the early Man-Wolf solo stories. And I was like, hey.
Yeah, I know.
Where the hell did that come from? Because I don't know. I'm going through these credits here, and I'm like, Jerry Conway, Doug Minch, Tony Isabella, Marv Wolfman. What's your problem, Kurt?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I thought that was. Yeah, I was a little upset by that. But I kind of had to look and be like, what do I like of Kurt Busiek's? Like, do I like any of his stuff? And I don't really like any of his stuff.
He's written some kind of fun Avengers stuff, didn't he? In the 90s?
It's all fine. It's just not my favorite. I mean,
City?
He did Untold Tales of Spider-Man. Okay, Astro City is pretty good. I actually own some Astro City. That's probably the only thing I actually own of his.
Okay, yeah. I'm realizing I'm basing mine on Untold Tales of Spider-Man and Astro City. That's all I've actually read. And a little bit of like Avengers Forever or some least bad 90s Avengers stuff.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I would say I would say the exact same thing, but take 70s out and put 90s in.
Okay.
Because I think most of the writing and a lot of the 90s stories is a lot shittier than the 70s ones. At least the 70s ones are fun and kind of silly.
About his original insult. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, his
100%.
original insult. Yeah, I would say, 90s writing I think is the fucking worst. But 70s writing it's bad. I mean, it's not Alan Moore, it's not Neil Gaiman, but it's super fun. And I think it was at a point in comics history where, I mean, comics history has always just been like throw a ton of shit at the wall and see what sticks. Like that's basically from the creation of comics to now.
Yeah.
But it was, I don't know, it had a fun flair in the 70s. And that's, and I think we both think that because when talking about, to do this second season, I mean, we could jump into other points in the publishing history of the Jack Russell Werewolf by Night character, but we just wanted to stay in the 70s, just one more season.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just fun.
Yeah, it's fun. And, there's a very minimal amount of characters that have bone spurs jutting out and pouches all over their body and are just perpetually screaming, like that just the Liefeld screaming intense face. Like they could be making love to their wife and they'd have that face.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
Result just shadow right in the center. God, I hate so much of the 90s stuff. Okay. Let's get back to sink into the kiddie pool here.
Yes, we're getting back in. So our opening page, full page illustration, kind of where we left off last issue. We got Spidey sitting on the ledge of a building. And he's like, oh, my spider sense is acting up, tingling, warning me of danger. Got to roll to my feet. And we see in the back, like we'd seen at the end of the last issue, Man-Wolf is leaping towards him. And I'll just read the opening narration. It says, it's not been a good week for our web-slinging hero. 2 deaths haunt him, one of the woman he loved, the other of his best friend's father. And if that weren't enough, for one hung-up college student, for the second time this evening, he's about to be attacked by a rampaging Man-Wolf. I like this. I like this opening page. The layout's very simple, but it's very effective. I like the title Wolfhunt. How we kind of had fur a little bit last title, and this is, I guess, I don't know. What would you call this? It's more jagged. I guess it's supposed to be fur.
I thought it was like a shredded radiation suit.
Oh, let's go with that. That's way better.
Yeah, the layout's great. The buildings and everything. I love the perspective and the draftsmanship of all the background and the layout and the angles. Beautiful splash page. Spidey doesn't know what's gonna hit him. So yeah, on the next page, Man-Wolf lands on the edge of the the building rooftop where Spidey was sitting, and Spidey's like, "You, the Joker who attacked Jonah Jameson." He's kind of off. He admits this on the next page, but he's a little off this page with his quips and stuff. And the Man-Wolf just charges him, no care for his safety or Spider-Man's. And he's like, "Hey, look out, you're pushing us over the edge. We're going to fall." And then as Spider-Man's falling with the Man-Wolf in a tangle, he shoots a web up to the rooftop. And he says, "Man, you really are crazy. The way Jonah jumped on me for fighting you a while ago, I thought this werewolf bit was some sort of stunt. Something Jameson worked up to trap me in his apartment so he could blast me in that crummy newspaper of his. I wouldn't put that past him." No. Actually. Like at first I was like, wow, Peter's really paranoid. I was like, no, he's actually put up with a lot of Jonah's shit.
Yeah.
Jonah has literally had people turned into freaks
he's built crazy robots.
Yeah.
It's like, or had them built. Yes.
Exactly. So he's saying, but JJJ couldn't pay a man to go this far, not to the point of suicide. And he starts swinging back up just before they hit the sidewalk. And the Man-Wolf's leaping down to the ground, and Spidey says, "What's the matter? Don't like the company? Too bad. Just when things were getting cozy. Don't fret, though, pal." And the bottom of his arc as they're swinging down ends, and he swings back up, and he's like, "I'll be back real soon." At that point, I was like, what the hell is going on? And then I noticed, oh, that billboard he's swinging towards says "Background Mortolaro." Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
So Spidey just did a little quick, he's a little out of sorts here. He's got his gut slashed open by the Man-Wolf last issue, and he just got surprised. So he's just kind of thinking out loud, like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on? But he did think that this was probably some kind of stunt. So I'm having a drink.
Yeah, agreed. See, yeah, if we had Tony Mortolaro on every issue, we'd be set. We'd just be able to be like, yeah, whenever we see him. And even in this panel, I mean, that's pretty clumsy graffiti. Like it's just like "Background Mortolaro," like joke to be inserted later.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. No, this is a cool page, and I did like those bottom panels. I love the arc finishing his swing arc and then taking off. This is a cool page, and it all happens in the rain too, which makes it a lot cooler.
So on the next, him a Bunky. We talked about this via text this week. You don't care for Bunky.
I don't care for Bunky. I just don't think it has enough context, or I care enough about it. For some reason, I first think like, oh, is like All in the Family is real big right now. Is this an Archie Bunker thing? Is this? But no, it's like army slang.
Yeah, so he's just like calling him. It's like a sarcastic, ironic use of like chum or pally or
bunkmate,
chief or I mean, we literally it means bunkmate, right? Or in prison. But I'm sure it's army at this point in American culture. But he uses it on different people, and it's just kind of it's like kiddo or bucko, like the way Ron Howard would use bucko like as a invective in Happy Days.
Yeah, I guess so. It's just a weird choice for Jerry Conway. Like all the rest of his, I don't know why he gives Spider-Man like kind of cornier dialogue than his normal kid. Well, maybe that's a choice. Maybe yes, you have something to say on this, friendo?
Oh, because my hand's up?
Yeah, because
friendo, there you go, right there. Yeah. Anton Sugar. I think it's like, honestly, like proto dad joke. I think, it's not meant to, he knows it's not funny. He's just using it in an ironic kind of smart ass way, but he's not chuckling to himself. So I think it's like a dad joke. It's just like, I know it's dumb.
Okay.
And he knows that, he thinks this is a guy in a suit still. So, I mean, he would call, I remember him calling Hobgoblin Bunky. He used this for a while. This term stuck around quite a while.
I just feel like it's a little overused, but that's just me.
Overused now in 1973?
In 1973. No, I just think from even from the two issues that we've read of this, I'm just like, oh, he said it like 4 too many times.
Okay.
But that's just me. But I can move on. I can deal with it.
Hey, when your girlfriend dies and your roommate's dad dies, who was trying to kill you, tell me how you feel then.
I still think I'd make better jokes.
I think you would too. God damn it.
Sorry. All right, we'll move on to the next page. So the next page, what did you think of this first panel? So it's Spider-Man swings down and thinks like, what's the use? My heart's just not in the snappy patter. Like you had said, he was he knows something's off. Says, doesn't seem to be in anything anymore, not even in the idea of a good, clean fight. It's Gwendy, of course. And so he's just getting ready to, get this kind of cool hold on the Man-Wolf. But the perspective of that first panel kind of, I don't know. I just didn't like it. I don't like that first panel. I don't like how it's weirdly long for I don't know. The layout of this page, I kind of had issues with.
I liked it.
Okay.
Like what that was actually the panel I was looking at when I said like Ross Andrews, Spider-Man, it's like just solid sticker book fare.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely sticker book fare. I don't know why. I just, it didn't do it for me too much. At least that first panel. But in the second panel, by the time he swings down and, smacks into Man-Wolf and kind of wraps his feet around him in some kind of cool, if I watched a lot of wrestling, I'm sure I'd know what kind of move that is.
He's got the Man-Wolf's head in a leg lock.
Yeah, it's like a leg lock. But he's doing all this while also like he's really distracted because he's doing this. He's like, I can't get her out of my mind. I don't want to. I couldn't care less about this clown. This clown in a werewolf suit. It's like I couldn't care less why he wanted to kill Jonah or why he tried to kill me. Nothing matters now that Gwendy's dead. Not even, it seems, my own survival. And so, he's kind of forlorn. Still has Man-Wolf in a really cool, leg lock. And then kind of moves him down. And so Man-Wolf's head snout kind of pulls up and Spider-Man's able to see that pendant.
Well, he's being submissive. He's showing Spider-Man his tummy.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, he is. Spider-Man's like, wait a minute, that pendant. I've seen it before, but I'm blasted if I could remember where. So he's on, and then he gets taken by surprise. Man-Wolf breaks the lock. Spider-Man's like, oh, I blew it, lost my attention, my grip, and next on the list is my life. And so, any advantage that Spider-Man had has been lost because of his focus.
My spidey sense tingled on that bottom left panel because Pete didn't see that before. There was no notice of this in the last issue, the pendant.
You don't think so?
No.
Did you go back?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
He never noticed it.
Oh, Jerry,
that spleef.
Damn it.
Got to lay off those lunchtime spleefs.
Freaking kids.
But I love, like you were saying, just that he's kind of just chattering on in his mind. He might as well be buying groceries from a shopping list, at Safeway at this point. Like he's so mentally checked out and he's doing all these amazing, cool moves.
He really is.
And I love that strategy where he fell from a dead fall from the top of a roof, swung full swing, and then went all the way back up to the top of a water tower and then came back down and slammed the dude with this into like a what is that? Figure 4 leg lock. That is what it's called.
Oh, nicely done.
Yes. And like you were saying, he's so distracted. Man-Wolf breaks the hold and now he just kind of lost his whatever advantage he had. And then Pete notices that the moon is setting. And he says, if I know my legends, that means you're due for a transformation. Let's see who intimidates who then, buddy boy. And the werewolf in this cool panel also seems to be aware that the moon is going away. And he looks very upset.
He does.
He looks like he just realized he left his cell phone on the bus.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, fuck.
And Pete says, yep, just as I thought. As soon as you realize what's going to happen when the moon goes down, you split. And sure enough, Man-Wolf bolts. And Spider-Man starts to run after him and trips over a pile of garbage cans and eats shit in a filthy alley as Man-Wolf is hurtling over a wooden fence and Spidey's on the ground, little stars around his head going, okay, I guess that cut on my stomach was worse than I thought it was. Or no, actually, there was a weird little thing here, actually. He says, I didn't think that cut was all that bad, but I guess I was wrong after all. And he's starting to pull himself up out of the mud puddle in the alley. And he says, "Why do you do these things to yourself, Parker? Why? And the narration says, though he isn't aware of it and would deny it if told, our hero has just triumphed over his inner turmoil." And I was like, what?
No, I don't get that at all.
And I read the next page and went back and read this one again. I was like, no, he didn't. Like, nothing happened.
Didn't.
It was just a narrative convenience.
Yeah, probably. How many books is Jerry doing this month?
All right. Should have been in college.
So yeah, on the next page, so Pete staggers into his apartment, and after he sees that Harry's still gone, he says like, I can't really blame him for dropping out of sight. It's what I'd like to do. And it's what I would do if I hadn't already fouled up my school record so bad it'll take months to straighten out. And then he kind of looks down. He's taking his shirt off and he looks down. He's like, hey, that's a pretty bad cut. And it's like, lucky I haven't passed out from blood loss. And he's like kind of, wrapping his chest wound up, some bandages, some gauze. And yeah, he's got little stars around his head. So he's not doing great.
No.
And he's like, yeah, that's all I need on top of everything else. I'm going to be anemic. And he's like, come on, Parker, snap out of it. You got to think, Mr. Hotshot, where have you seen that pendant before? Like he says, it could mean the answer to some heavy questions. Like, who is the man wolf? Why did he attack J. Jonah Jameson? And most important of all, why would old Jonah want to protect a monster that tried to kill him? And he basically just passes out. Like he's ill. He's lost some blood. He's not doing great. He just balled up his costume, threw it in the closet, and is falling asleep with his web shooter still on.
Yep. His slacks on, shoes on, web shooters on.
Yeah.
All taped up. His chest. Yeah, nice solid figure work here from Andrew again. Nothing mind-blowingly good, but just a nice solid Peter Parker. But you're not going to respond? Okay. Let's move moving on. Okay. So at this point, you might have to remind me, it's been a while, but did Harry find his dad dead and take his suit off and hide the glider and hide everything so that to save his father's memory? Isn't that what kind of starts this whole backslide into being the second Green Goblin?
I thought so, but like both of us have said, it's funny. Like the death of Gwen Stacy is something that we've all read, but I literally haven't read it in, I don't know, like 15 years maybe. Yeah. So so that's why I hesitate. I'm like, oof, we're gonna have to go back and get corrected if we say this wrong.
Although we do get to see Harry soon.
Yeah, no, we do.
And so we cut to there's a cafe, and MJ and Flash Thompson are sharing a sundae, a milkshake.
They're sharing a very small sundae.
And is it just me? Is this coloring weird? I remember Flash Thompson being a strawberry blonde, a little bit of orange in his hair. Have I misremembered his hair my entire life?
I don't know. I think it changed a little bit, but I remember him pretty blonde.
Okay. Trippy. Okay. So yeah, they're talking and there's just this back and forth and, Parker this, blah, blah, blah. And I was just thinking, WBN might have actually took off if there'd been some more of this. We talked about this a bit last season, but just some supporting cast and some drama stuff. Like Lissa, after the Were-Demon thing, if she'd gone to college and made a couple friends, what if that friend, just by happenstance, happened to be a secret necromancer who was doing some evil shit on the campus? Like, ooh. This is how you make stories happen, by sowing these seeds and bringing people into the circle. Well,
we're just going to have to be hired to do Untold Tales of Werewolf by Night. And
do you remember who this young African-American student is with them?
I can't remember his name. I actually tried to look it up, and he's in this era, but I'm not as familiar with this era. No, I couldn't remember his name.
But it's not Randy.
No.
They didn't go, there's one young black man and one black adult man, and they're both father and son in New York City.
Yeah, no. Well, thankfully they didn't at this point, but
And then Harry strolls in past them without even hardly noticing them. And she's like, hey, where you been? Because they're still together at this point. And, he's just dazed walking past them, or just kind of has a distant, angry look. And Flash is giving him shit. And she's like, leave him alone, Flash. God, his dad just died. And he's like, how long is he going to hang on to that? It's been 11 days.
Yeah.
We didn't say that, but we know the math. Solid MJ, not John Romita good, but decent character work, interesting angles here. My main takeaway was I just wish there had been more of this.
Yeah, so you like the coffee shop exchanges.
I totally do.
The human, that side. I do too. I really do. I did love the two panels. It really made me laugh. It's like, and I thought MJ's reaction was pretty awesome to this, to where, Flash is doing that kind of, like jerk ass guy thing, like, come on, give us a smile, you know? And she, uses her fingers to press her mouth up. It's just like, how's this, Flash? Bright enough for you? Did you ever watch Broad City?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that when some guy on the street told both of them to smile, and they just took both their middle fingers and like that was exactly what I thought of at this. I was just like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
That would have been dope.
Yeah. So on the next page, so Mary Jane escorts Harry out of the coffee shop, telling him like, they don't understand what you're going through. And then, as has happened with every time the MJ's tried to say something nice or be supportive, Harry just kind of unleashes on her, telling her he doesn't need her sympathy. And yeah, kind of like last issue where Pete told MJ to bug off. I like Harry tells MJ to stuff it, sweetheart. Just get out of my sight.
You're smoking hot and you care about me.
Yeah.
Disgust me.
You disgust me. And I loved, I really loved that panel where he says stuff it, because again, like this really makes me think that as far as the superhero books go, Spider-Man is the closest to a romance comic by far. But it's panels like that. It's panels like last issue with the close up on Jonah's face. This one where she's, upset and crying. It's like, don't, Harry, please don't. And Harry pushes her out of the way. It's like, no, this is speaking my romance comic language.
No, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, and I love romance comics.
I do too. I didn't as a younger person, but as an adult, finding some here and there tattered copies and cheapy bins, I've really gotten into them.
Oh yeah, I mean they're awful, but the art is so good, and they're really hilariously bad.
And I like the Mulholland Drive reference here at the end of that scene as MJ runs out of the cafe crying. Silencio, dig.
Silencio, dig. That's right. I know. I was waiting for you to do that. And so, at the bottom three panels, we switch to J. Jonah Jameson in front of his son's apartment. And he's thinking, do I dare go upstairs? It could mean the end of everything I'd hoped for, the beginning of a nightmare. Then he's like, I don't have much choice. It's like, I didn't make the name Jonah Jameson a household word in the city by ignoring facts, even unpleasant facts. No, he does ignore facts a lot, actually, but that's okay. He's saying this out loud too, to psych himself up. It's like, all I can do is pray I'm wrong as he's walking up the stairs. For my son John's sake, and heaven help me for my own.
Yeah, so he approaches John's apartment. The door's ajar, and he comes in and he sees John just passed out on the couch in the clothes that the man wolf was wearing. And he says, "Oh, dear Lord, that costume! I'd recognize it anywhere." And then John wakes up and says, "It's not a costume, Dad. It's a uniform." No, that didn't happen. But that's the first thing I thought was costume. My son, the astronaut, in his space costume.
Yeah.
And he says, "I'd recognize it anywhere. It's true then. My son is a man wolf." That should have been the fucking title of the story.
Exactly. My son is a man wolf. You're right. That would have been such a badass title.
Steve Wilkos.
Yeah.
So, Jonah wakes his son up and he's like, "Dad, is that you?" And he's like, tell me what the hell's going on. I need to hear, the story here. And John sits up and looks kind of tired. He is still wearing the same little leotard or whatever it is. He's like, well, this is a nightmare and I don't know how to get myself out of it, but I can tell you how I got into it all by myself. And then we go into a flashback, which is really cool on the bottom panel. That's horizontal. And the left, it has John sweating and he's shaded by green and yellows. So he looks kind of EC weird, like, Fear Comics kind of thing. And on the right-hand side, there's a missile launch. And he's basically saying, like, there was an unscheduled secret missile launch that nobody knew about. It wasn't covered on the news. And, I can't really tell you about why we did it, but, it was top secret stuff. And so we're getting into the skinny here of what happened to John.
Yeah, I mean, this page is really cool, but that last panel is just so badass.
Mm-hmm.
With the awesome rocket firing on the side. Yeah, it looks great. And yeah, so John is starting this whole flashback origin story, and it just continues on the next page. And what I like is on the next 2 pages, all the panels have are rounded. It's the theme of the flashback panels, and it's really cool. Just it totally takes on a different feel, and it's such an awesome origin page. I love like at the very top, we see John in like his super badass astronautics suit on the moon. And he narrates, I found something on the moon's surface, a rock, the strangest rock I'd ever seen. Right then, I was determined that it would be mine. And right then, I sealed my doom. And so he obviously found this and like kind of had to turn it in, with all the other moon rocks. And so the next panel, we see him like some kind of a friend who is using like a robotic arm to take the jewel out and to give to him. And so he says, yeah, back on Earth, I had a friend who worked at the quarantine center. With a little coaxing, I got him to borrow the moon rock for me. Like he says, I didn't think one more rock would matter. There were already so many, but none of them looked like a fucking ruby. Like they just looked like moon rocks. Like he's obviously stealing the most valuable thing that has been found on the moon.
Yeah, I mean, that was just the sentence you were just reading. There were already so many ore samples, each one pretty much the same as another, except for size, shape, color, texture, and opacity.
I like it's just like no one's gonna miss this, right?
Yeah, it's a moon ruby.
Yeah, it is a moon ruby that glows. And so he says, I had my rock made into a pendant and took to wearing it around my neck. Didn't think much about it at first until one night I was taking the turnpike up to New York for a late night dinner with my fiance, Christine. Something happened to me, something inexplicable. I love that bottom left. It's all shaded in blue. Just looks so cool. And then the final panel, he says something I still don't quite believe, even after all that's happened to me since. We see him driving, again, a super badass car. He says, that's funny. Suddenly I feel tired, exhausted. Mustn't be getting enough sleep. Either that or it's this blasted night driving.
I laughed out loud there. I was like, dude, you're not our age. You're like 26.
Yeah, I know. Because at first, I laughed at it. And then I was like, truth. Serious.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it.
No, we got to get going. It was a great lunch, but I don't like driving at night.
Driving at night.
And I don't know if this counts as a Tom thing, but what's his license plate is a vanity plate. I don't know what it means though.
Says
BGTM. TM or is the inkers the guy who loves to stick his name in the background.
Yeah, so it's TM. Yeah, I don't know what BG is. By God, it's Tony Mortallero. That's what it is. You got to think like Tony.
I thought it was butt grabbing Tony Mortallero.
Yeah, butt grabbing Tony Mortallero. That's if he had a few drinks in him. Remember,
a Mortallero.
Yeah, don't get drinks in him. Don't let him drive at night.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah,
it's hard not to hear that and not get more stories.
I know. But there really is hardly anything about that man that exists on the internet. It's kind of sad. Like he did a fair amount of work, and the main stuff. I mean, you find little asides here and there, but the main stuff is Ramita complaining about him. That's his biography online.
Yeah, but I mean, there's good sides to that. Like,
no, there's good sides to that.
You know, I can't run for any kind of office. People just do a search for me and listen to a couple episodes of anything and be like, yeah, you're not fit to serve.
That's true.
The next page here is an interesting little array of these very efficient vertical, like Lincoln logs of panels that were kind of interesting. But we see the moon parting. It says it wasn't the night driving, it was the moon. Through an opening in the clouds, it poked its silver face. And we get a nice little shot. It's all just like super efficient storytelling here. We get a shot of John looking out the window, and then he looks up at the full moon revealed through the clouds, and the pendant is glowing. He's gritting his teeth, and then the moon's even more revealed. And then we get this great shot with reds and yellows like spraying up on his face from the pendant. He says, "The pendant glowing, something about the moon." And then we get another shot of the full moon, and then we get this crazy Mr. Hyde mid-transformation face where he's, "Lord in heaven, what's happening to me?" And like his teeth are half fangs, and his claws are growing out, and he's kind of running his fingers through his hair in panic, and he looks bananas.
He looks awesome. Like that's a great panel. Picture. And I love that it's dead center in the page. Like
yes.
It's such a cool layout.
And it's just red and black, right?
Yeah. Awesome.
And while he's panicking, he loses control of his car. He swerves across the center lane. He almost hits a semi. The semi goes into the side of the road. He crashes into the side of the other side of the highway. Trucker comes out. "What's the matter with you? You crazy? You almost got us killed. Hey, I said you almost." And in the foreground, we see John down with kind of ragged hair on him. So, and his clothes are torn. We know what's going on, but the trucker doesn't see it yet. And he gets close up, and Man-Wolf springs to his feet going, "Rawr!" And he's got tattered army fatigues on. Oh, he probably just was in the army still, huh?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. And the trucker is going, "Got us killed." I love a good gulp.
Yeah.
But I do like this panel of the Man-Wolf charging towards us. That's great.
It's cool. It's just a cool page all in all. I mean, I love the first 5 panels. I love the how you can track the moon and every other panel on there. And yeah, it's a really cool page. But my favorite part of this whole kind of recap origin story is the top panel of the next page. What a great, like, it's like a recap panel, but it travels so well from left to right. So it starts, it's showing his transformation, then kind of attacking a woman, showing John in his human form. And then after it's him, attacking someone again. And the narration is, that's how it started. Somehow that driver escaped. I wandered into the Pennsylvania hills, and when I woke the next morning, I found myself half naked in a rain-filled culvert. It's like every month since then, I've been transformed. And to date, none of my efforts to stop that transformation have succeeded. And this is the key part of the narration here. Not even the radiation suit I had made to cut out the lunar rays. The first time I wore it last night, the suit came apart. So he made his outfit. It's not his old spacesuit. He made it from.
He had it made.
Yeah, he had it made. Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah, that's something. So yeah, he calls it a radiation suit that he made to cut out the lunar rays, which doesn't work for a lot of reasons. But
no sleeves, plunging neckline.
Plunging neckline's the best.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, from a design standpoint, his suit works great. But
this was all the rage in Chernobyl a few years later, though.
This is how you want a radiation suit. A He-Man onesie. That'll keep you safe.
I do like the silhouetted figure, him attacking some just poor guy out in the woods on the far right there.
Yeah, I will never get tired of that formula, that trope of a silhouetted werewolf figure against a full moon. Like it's just it's great every time. Yep. No one can screw that up.
Nope. Well, okay.
All right.
Somebody who inks a certain guy named that rhymes with Cack Jerby could probably fuck it up. Kinsfaletta.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Not naming names.
Yeah. Not naming names. No, I appreciate that. Clean show. So the bottom, the middle panel. So we go back to square panels. We're back in the present where he's talking to his dad. His dad's like, "Don't talk like that, son. It's obviously you haven't thought this out at all. Why not just take off the pendant?" And I love John's response. He's like, "Dad, try not to treat me with the contempt you save for your employees." He's kind of just like, I'm an astronaut. Like I had to go to a lot of school. Like, of course I tried to fucking take it off.
Yeah.
He's like, I've tried to remove the stone, but it's too late. It's grafted itself to my skin permanently.
Love that.
Yeah, gruesome.
So it's like, what precedent is there in fantastic, weird fiction for this? I mean, this is like a proto-venom. It's an alien power source that has bonded itself, taken over its host, or forcibly bonded with the host. I think it's a cool idea.
It's a really cool idea. And obviously, you know, the bare mechanics of this whole thing had to be created by Jerry Conway, who was just given very broad strokes. So this seems like a very Conway thing to actually have the stone, painfully grafted to his skin. Yeah, it's really cool and unique. It's pretty unique in the Marvel universe up to this point.
Yeah, definitely.
That's great. After that, we switch back to Peter. It says 7 hours. That's how long Peter Parker slept since falling exhausted to his bed. 7 hours, and now it's the middle afternoon of a new day, which again, I'm like you. Now I just have total anxiety. I'm just like, Jesus, you missed all your fucking classes again. It's the middle of the afternoon, dummy. But then, okay, so he's in his suit, leaps out the window. He's like, I'm going to have to take it slow today. The cut on my chest is still a little sore, and I'm not too certain about the bandage I made up last night, because he was doing it as he was literally passing out.
Yep.
He's like, I can't worry about it now, though, since I'm finally functioning like myself again. And I want to make the most of it as long as it lasts, which means getting in touch with a friend of mine at the Daily Bugle. I love the perspective on that last panel of him just soaring down towards the Daily Bugle. It's really cool.
I really dig that first panel when Pete's waking up, he's putting the mask on. It's like 9.5 weeks or something. It's very sensuous.
It is. He's like, never put on that mask sexy like that.
It's like Phoebe Cates and Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah, no, it is.
Beer commercial.
Hi, I'm Russell.
And I'm Justin.
And we're from the
Hold up. Listen up, you nerds. Tired of being a little goody two-shoes? Had enough of always talking about acts of courage and heroism? Well, you have come to the right place, I guess. Tomes of Evil is the comic book supervillain podcast, where every month we do a deep dive on a different comic book supervillain, as well as multiple sub-series on some of the most iconic foes of all time, including Darkseid, Doctor Doom, Scarecrow, and...
Name's Hobgoblin, and you're right on time for your funeral.
I better be getting paid for this. So what are you guys waiting for? Bring on the bad guys.
Tomes of Evil, a comic book villain podcast.
So we see who his friend is. It's Joe Robbie. Spider-Man, not Peter Parker. Spider-Man just jumps in through Robbie's window, and he's like, hey there, old buddy, I need to ask you a favor about a certain pendant. And Robbie's on the phone. He's like, Spider-Man, you fool, you're going to get yourself killed being here. And sure enough, Robbie's door blasts open, and there's Jonah with 2 cops. Does that this kind of tripped me up? I was like, did he just pay off-duty cops to be there in case Spider-Man shows? Like, the logistics are bizarre there.
Yeah, who knows how long they were there?
Yeah, exactly. But you know, they launch some tear gas at Spider-Man, and he's like, well, you guys don't want me here, so I'll see you later. Just runs and dives through the window like the Lion in the Wizard of Oz, which made me laugh also. He's like, yeah, I get the hint. And he's outside, and there's snow on the ledge of the skyscraper. I was confused.
Yeah, it definitely looks like snow.
Okay. So Spider-Man's standing on the ledge outside of Robbie's window, and he's got those stars, and he's like, whoa, I must have got more of that gas than I thought. Can't get my balance. Eyes watering, senses spinning, and then he just keels forward and falls off. He's like, must still be pretty weak from that cut. Too much coming down too soon. Can't handle it. Falling. And he lands in a dumpster full of trash.
Yeah, and it's like you can kind of see, I swear to God, there's like some syringes in that bag or something. Like it looks brutal.
And it says scump is the sound effect. SQUMP.
Squump.
Okay, squump, fine.
Squump. Yeah, favorite part of this of this panel is, Spider-Man, he normally opens windows before going through them, but he just dives through a plate glass window to get out of there.
I've never breathed in tear gas. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yes, that's true. He's probably just like, fuck, tear gas. Then, goes through the plate glass window. But yeah, you're right. The logistics of what Jonah would have to pay like 2 cops. I mean, the cops are always pretty convinced that Spider-Man's up to no good, at least. Not as much in the 70s as they were in the 60s, but,
Right. Is Captain Stacy dead? He's dead, right? Yeah, because he died before Gwen.
Yes.
So some of them still think some people think the election was still rigged and it's over a year later. So I'm sure some of those cops think that Spider-Man killed Captain Stacy. And cops seem to hate that when you kill other cops.
Yeah, they do not like that. They're going to remember it. So yeah, you're right. They probably didn't need too much convincing to stay.
No.
So, but I do like Robbie's reaction on the next page. Robbie yells at Jonah, "Why, Jonah? Why'd you bring those policemen up here to wait for Spider-Man?" And then, Jonah goes off on some bull about Spider-Man killing Norman Osborn with, Robbie saying, "Oh, there's no proof." And then I like this. I like when Jonah comes clean about his motivations. And he's like, "And how about this, Robertson? I hate him because he's a glory hound. Because while he's stealing headlines, good men are suffering without a word, without anyone caring whether they live or die."
Like astronauts.
Yeah, like astronauts or suns. Yeah.
Somebody please think of the astronauts.
So yeah, I like how piercingly blue Jonah's eyes are in that third panel.
Svengali.
Yeah. So now we cut to Pete showing up at MJ's apartment. She lets him in, and he slumps down in her awesome beanbag chair. and she's like, "What happened to you, Tiger? Someone run you over with a Mack truck?" And he's like, "Yeah, it feels that way." He's just expecting her to be nice and supportive. And she's like, "Yeah, and you came here to get over it, right? You take a lot for granted, Bright Eyes." He's like, "Oh, sorry, Mary Jane. He's like, "You're sorry? Thanks a lot, Mr. Parker. Man, you are unreal. Every time I see you, you're bummed out."
True.
It's so true. Like, she's not wrong. She's like, "What do you think this is, handsome? A daycare center? If you want to take me dancing, that's just fine. But if you think I'm..." And then she finally is just noticing that he's kind of messed up. He's like, "Oh, you're really out of it, aren't you?" And then we kind of go, I love that page down there. I love her eyes, the floating head of Harry. And it says in the narration, "But in the instant before Mary Jane can relax her guard, the memory of this morning's incident comes surging back with, Harry telling her to stuff it. And with it, her later decision not to get involved. So she's made a mental choice. She's done with Pete. She's done with Harry. And so she says, "Out, Tiger. Call me when you're more cheery. Till then, chill it, dig." Pete's like, "Sure, MJ, I dig. See you around sometime." I always want to imagine that Flash, MJ, even Harry, like when they say things like "chill it, dig," like it sounds really cool. But when Pete tries to say stuff like that, it just sounds dorky as shit. Like he's like, "Sure, MJ, I dig."
I love that weird mental projection of Harry.
It's awesome.
He looks like the leader.
He does.
With like hair plugs.
It's like giant leader with Osborne hair. Yeah. No, that page is that panel's going on the feed. It's one of my favorites. It's very weird.
Yeah, so this is like, that stuff I love in Spider-Man, that the push-pull of like, she's right, and I'm rooting for her in the scene, but he's not wrong. You know what I mean? Like that conflict.
Yeah.
He does treat her like shit, but he's also got a lot of shit on his back that she can't see.
Yes.
So, I don't know. That's good stuff. Good drama.
Yeah.
So, on the next page, we get to see that car from the cover, the Rolls Royce or whatever. And we see Christine Saunders, John's fiance, and she is wearing the girl version of the Man-Wolf suit. So she's got a miniskirt dress, a short dress on that's yellow with green pockets and green wristbands or bracelets or whatever on.
Yeah, those are Bakelite bracelets for sure.
Okay. What's Bakelite?
It's this proto-plastic. Lots of fancy bracelets were made.
Did you do it at home or did you buy them?
No, you bought them. They were fancy.
Okay. Well, she's fancy then.
Well, look at the car she's getting out of.
Yes.
It was yellow on the cover, by the way.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, I better have a sip of beer then.
Yep.
Okay, so she shows up because John is 4 hours late to a date, and she rings a buzzer, and she's like, nobody's answering. And I could hear the bell ringing upstairs. And so she looks up through the window of his apartment, and she sees two silhouettes. He's like, he wants to pretend I'm not here, all right. I'm not here. So she starts to storm off. And meanwhile, upstairs in John's apartment, John's saying, now it's your turn, Dad. Better leave. Something changes in me when I become that thing. I want to hurt the people I love, like Christine and like you. And Jonah's like, now, son. And we get this nice little 3-panel triptych here where the top of John's head is in the foreground, and Jonah's looking at us, like talking to him. He says, if you're trying to tell me the reason you attacked me was to kill me, that's utter nonsense. You wanted my help. Don't you see that, John? You came to me for help. And in this middle panel, there's pointed ears rising up out of John's hair. And then he's like, and you couldn't stop yourself, your animal self from, and he's full werewolf at that point, and Manwolf backhands his dad hard and sends him ass over tea kettle, like 360 flying through the air. That's a rad panel.
Oh, it is. Yeah, Jonah kind of gets the shit beat out of him in this story arc here.
Pretty great.
Which is satisfying for all.
Yeah.
No, it's a cool page. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, Christine's outfit is totally color coordinated with her fiance. They would look awesome walking down the street together.
Or climbing up the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
I think we both agreed that she wasn't a part of John's life before the Manwolf reinvention.
Mm-hmm.
Did Jerry just not know how long they were going to be around and just kind of help people with their blonde withdrawals in Spider-Man? Like, she's very Gwen Stacy.
She is very Gwen Stacy. Yeah, I don't know who made that call. It's weird though.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. But
I'm sorry. I always wanted a buzzer, right? Like, I grew up in a small town, like Seinfeld was on in the 90s, and you watch old movies, people do the whole, buzz, and I'll let you in, and you push a button from your apartment and it opens the door. Got that when I moved to this city. That wasn't that exciting.
Yeah, I was thinking you were going to say, I never got that. And I'm like, I've been to your apartment in 2002. And
it's just not that interesting. Yeah, I thought it would be cool.
It is cool, but yeah, not.
It'd be cool if George Costanza was on the other end.
Yeah, but he's never on the other end. All right, on our next page, it's really cool. It's just like four panels, rectangle. It's really, really a cool sequence here. So a Manwolf in the first one goes up through the skylight and jumps down to an alley, only to find like a kind of junky looking fella who immediately whips out a switchblade.
That's Jim Carroll.
That is Jim Carroll.
He's working on the Basketball Diaries.
He's working on the trash. He's thinking about people that died.
Oh boy.
And then and I like how it's described in the narration. It's like he lands in the midst of a pathetic tableau, unfortunately not unfamiliar to the streets of New York. There's got to be an easier way of saying that. That went a lot of different places. But then on the next panel, it's a tableau which is shattered by a snarl and a scream. And I love this. And so it's Manwolf just attacking this guy. And I almost didn't notice that on the right there, that it was his costume. It almost just seemed like he was moving so fast. He was in like this swirl almost of action. And I was just like, oh, that's really cool.
That's how I read that too, the first look.
Yeah. But then I'm like, oh no, that's his fucking costume. You see the moon. Yeah. You see the Bloodstone. It's a suit. Yes. Not a costume. Like Dad. Jonah says, Dad, come on. And then on the bottom, it says, but before the Manwolf can complete his attack in the manner of the beast he's become, a sudden sound startles him and he turns to see. And we always like when the werewolves go, whenever there's a question mark at the end of any of their roars or roars, it's always comedy gold. And so he turns to see Christine. And Christine is just driven up in her badass car and is like, no, oh no.
Well, she's upset because he's wearing the same outfit. It's like super embarrassing.
It's just like, oh, we're going to have to go change. Someone else is wearing those.
So what I don't get is in the flashback, he says, I had the suit made and he's putting it on. He said, I put it on for the first time last night and it didn't work. But we can see here clearly in this last panel that there's shredded sleeves coming out of the shoulder piping. Like it doesn't. Was that stylized? Was it?
Do you think that
rough and ready?
Do you think they're still like working on the premise that this is his shredded like astronaut uniform that he hasn't made into a sweet little onesie yet? I don't know. It gets a little confusing.
I've seen a Ohatmu or something bio for him where he's wearing this outfit, but it's full, like with green boots and. Like it's a full radiation suit.
Okay.
So I think they kind of retro realized we probably should have just started there and then
probably
showed it tearing up.
Okay. That makes good sense to me.
Good. Thank God. I can't believe he bought that. Okay. So he is fully into this girl that I'm assuming he recognizes it because he's saying it makes me want to attack the people I love.
Yep.
It's kind of an interesting little twist here. We don't know if he's like, at the end of the first adventure, I think, of the Jack Russell werewolf, he'd already killed somebody.
Yes.
We don't know if that John has killed anyone yet. Like we don't know what he was going to do. It's even saying, before he can attack in the manner of the beast he's become, he's just kind of looming over that junkie. Like, is he going to kill him?
I think that it's easier to say that the werewolf kills in a Marvel horror comic than it is in Marvel's flagship title that tons of children read.
Okay.
So maybe editorially it's a little hard to be like, yeah, Man-Wolf, he's killed a bunch of people. Like, no. Even though it kind of seems like half the people he's attacked have been shown to have gotten away.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's totally killed people.
Okay. Christine's extricating herself from her parallel parking job in New York City as quickly as she can. And the werewolf is creeping out of the shadows in the alley. And says her gears shriek in protest. The engine stalls. And there's a great panel here as the man-wolf lunges towards her, growling. And it says she stares in voiceless horror as the man-wolf leaps. Then we cut to a great shot of Spidey looking up towards these just dizzying, vertiginous skyscrapers as Spider-Man's swinging down. It says, okay, time for a snappy scene change. Only this one's going to be a bit tricky. 10 minutes ago, wow, Jerry's really into this, jumping ahead of like Tarantino and Scorsese, like that whole kind of like, okay, but 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
Stir the sauce,
I would say Kubrick's The Killing, but that's just me.
Okay. Well, that's okay. That's much better. So it says 10 minutes ago, 8 blocks downtown, framed in a circle of moonlight, Spider-Man. And Pete's thinking, yeah, I had that coming from MJ. I've been pretty grim lately. What am I supposed to be? Happy? Glad that I've seen the girl I love die? Maybe I have been self-centered, but so what? There's Pete's full carousel of psychotic.
He's like, oh, I am an asshole, but I totally get to be an asshole.
Haven't I got a right to feel sorry for myself? My life hasn't been exactly frolic-filled, from Jonah Jameson on down to crummy clowns in werewolf costumes. So that's a sip.
Yep.
He's still talking about goddamn costumes.
Oh, God.
I've been put down, beat up, cursed. Hey, wait a minute. My subconscious must have been working overtime because it just put 2 and 2 together and came up with 4. That costume the man-wolf was wearing, it's not a fucking costume. Sorry. It wasn't fabric. It was some sort of insulation material, the kind used on spacesuits for astronauts. And it just hit me who I know that has an astronaut son and who was attacked by a werewolf in astronaut clothing. God, that was excruciating.
Yeah.
J. Jonah Jameson.
That's a lot of words to get to that point. Oh, God.
But my point is, the pendant never weighed in.
No, the pendant never weighed in.
And it never was part of that. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Decent art there on that second half of the page. I really like the top though with the with Christine and the sports car or whatever. The
I
luxury
like
car.
that you pointed out that as she had pulled in last issue or last page, it was her parallel parking. So she
Yes.
probably didn't see immediately. She's looking behind her, you know, she's trying to really get into this small space. And then it's like, oh, fuck, I gotta go. Like, I just pulled in.
Yeah. And you don't leave a spot in New York City once you get one.
No. But I love I love that bottom panel. It's got him swinging in silhouette by the moon, but then just so many words.
Yeah.
Just words crowding the panel.
Yeah, that was a long walk for that revelation. Whew.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I love that the next page. My favorite thing about this next page is the first part, which is a quick glance in the Manhattan telephone directory tells our hero what he needs to know.
Which now would be, okay, Siri, where does John Jameson live?
Anytime Spider-Man has to just be like, I don't know. And I know that people have people say this all the time, that like modern Spider-Man or even the Spider-Man in the movies has too much tech.
Yeah.
You know, like there's just a lot of tech. He's got fucking GPS everywhere, but I love my Spider-Man that's like, fuck, I got to find a phone book and hope that John Jameson's listed. Because he's famous, you know, he could be unlisted, but nope, he's in there. And he found his apartment address. And so he's swinging down. And yeah, he's like, bingo, it's the man wolf.
That scene he sees, her just squirrel fishtailing out of that spot with smoke coming out of her tires, chased by a werewolf in a yellow suit.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit, seems like I'm right on time. And he swings down, just kicking Man Wolf in the face. And yeah, he's and if you notice, we're gonna have another Mortallero background said in that second panel there on the green building.
I missed that one.
So much. One more drink. Gotta get another drink.
We got to get him in because he's not going to come around anymore.
No, he's not. And Spider-Man says, whoops, got you mad, didn't I? Well, it doesn't really matter because I'm about to try a theory I've worked up. And it turns out I'm wrong. My chances of getting out of this scene with my skin on are pretty slim anyway. Here goes nothing. And so he webs the pendant. He's like, it's my guess that pendant's what making you a werewolf. Once my webbing cuts off the lunar rays, it should. And then, no, that doesn't do anything because Man Wolf just tears it off and is super pissed.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man's like, so much for that idea, Bunky. Time for plan B.
Yeah, that could have worked. That wasn't a completely ridiculous theory.
No, it was a good theory. He needed to work through it. It's a good plan A.
Yeah. But now he is a real werewolf. Like literally the page before, he's like, yeah, these guys in werewolf costumes.
But now he's like, nope, real werewolf.
Yeah. And then he says, well, plan B. He says, so mainly, when in doubt, punch out. And he just bonks the Man Wolf as hard as he can. It says, sloppy but effective. See what I mean? And the Man Wolf answers back and gives him like a drop kick and sends him flying back. He's like, nope, I guess you don't see, do you? And Christine's freaking out. Spider-Man, don't let him get near me. And Spidey says, go ahead, lady, scream. That's really helping. Why don't you call a cop or something? As he's tackling the Man Wolf. And the Man Wolf hits him again. He's like, or do I have to do this all by myself? Oh! He gets punched in the face by the werewolf. And he says, all right, Buster, that does it. The kid gloves are off. And so's that pendant, mister. Even if I have to. And he reaches over the werewolf's neck, grabs onto the necklace, and yanks and says, tear it off. And the werewolf's head flies back in pain. He goes,
well, yeah, because we see that attached to the pendant is a giant thing of fur and bloody skin, I'm sure, underneath it. Like, that'd just be so painful.
I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Kind of shocked that first panel that it didn't become a little catchphrase for Spider-Man. I love
when in doubt, punch out.
When in doubt, punch out.
Oh man.
But yeah, really cool page. And God, that last panel is great. And yeah, really, God, I had a visceral reaction. It's just, it looks so painful. It's just terrible to have something that's been fucking grafted to your skin ripped off. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, Pete's reaction on the next page is, dear Lord, I didn't realize the pendant had grafted itself onto his skin. And Christine says, Spider-Man, what's happening to him? He's changing. narration, before two sets of staring eyes, the transformation begins, and as it progresses, one set of eyes becomes blank with horror when the identity of the monster becomes apparent, all too painfully apparent. And so, yeah, Christine finally realizes that it is John. And Jonah's arrived. He comes out and says, "John, son, are you all right?" Spider-Man says, "He's just fine, Jameson. Now that this thing's off him. Better get him to a doctor, though, just like you should have in the first place." And as he says that, he just tosses the pendant into the bay or river. I'm not exactly sure where they're at.
With the strength of a spider.
Yes.
So imagine if a human-sized spider threw a necklace.
Yeah. It'd go really far.
Wrap your head around that.
Yeah. Take that tonight. And so I like that Jonah's response to this is a doctor, but the publicity. Spider-Man's like, "Publicity? Mister, your son's life was at stake. Not to mention the lives of the people he might have killed. Who knows? Maybe he's already killed someone. If he hasn't, it was luck. Just like it was luck he didn't try to kill this lady. He tried to." And Christine's like, "Johnny, are you okay? Papa Jonah, is he okay?" Like, she met him like 2 days ago, but I'm Jonah's.
I think it was yesterday.
Maybe it was yesterday. Yeah. But Jonah loves that. He's like, "Papa Jonah, why didn't I think of that?"
Yeah. The snake moved.
Yeah. Says, "Answer her, Jameson. Tell her everything's real swell. Maybe someday you'll even begin to believe it yourself." And Jonah actually looks like he's almost going to try and explain. He's like, "Spider-Man, wait, Spider-Man's like, "Save it for the papers, Jonah. Save it for tomorrow."
Very Chinatown moment there. Like,
so Chinatown.
Walking off, just kind of flips his hand up in the air like, forget it, Jake.
Yeah. It's very, very cool. And the teaser at the bottom says, "Next issue, where stalks the kangaroo?" Even though I think there should be a question mark instead of an exclamation on that. First, like, "Where stalks the kangaroo?" Fuck.
I thought you meant more like a inquisitive, like, "Where stalks the kangaroo?"
Yeah. No, "Where stalks, comma, the kangaroo." Fuck.
Yeah. I don't know if I've read a good kangaroo story.
I don't think there is a good kangaroo story that exists.
Yeah. He makes the Shocker look like Doc Ock.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, what a cool last panel. It's a really cool ending to this issue.
Yep, I love that the whole pendant body horror thing. I'm totally into that. The fusing to the skin, creepy, weird, and excited to see where it goes from here. I wish we could see fan reaction, like in the letters column.
I know
6 issues from now, but it didn't matter because they just pressed on. I don't know how far ahead. Looks like this next issue we'll be reading says June, so I'm assuming that's actually kind of a big break.
Yeah, that is a big break.
So maybe they did get reactions.
Yeah, I know. We would have to. Yeah, you don't have the singles in this era.
No, I don't.
No.
So I was confused. You said that when we were talking about that Busiek thing, somebody said, "Oh yeah," and he wrote this letter in to X-Men, like Burns, Claremont and Burns X-Men run, and sent like a critical letter. And I was like, "Wait a minute, how are you guys reading the letters page on Marvel Unlimited? I thought you didn't have letters pages."
Sometimes you do.
Oh, okay.
Very only on really big titles for the most part, but yeah, on some of the Uncanny X-Men, they will have the mailbag. And
define big.
Yeah, I know, you would think so, right?
It's been a year covering a not big title.
Yeah,
I don't think so, my friend.
Yeah, no, you're right. But yeah, so what you're talking about is Kurt wrote in a letter and got it published, as saying that that Claremont and Byrne were just ruining the X-Men. It was all done. It was terrible because of Jean Grey and Phoenix and Death of Phoenix and all this other stuff. And he hated it and went on to kind of rally against that, I think, for a long time.
He didn't like the Phoenix Force at all, or the Jean Grey.
He didn't like I think that was his main problem, but he didn't like the direction the book was taking. It's you should. I'll send you a screenshot of it. It's pretty cool.
And how long before he was a published writer? Before that letter? After that letter?
don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years, I think.
Okay. Well, he's at every comic show here.
Yeah,
so we can confront him.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm going to, get this. This is high concept revenge.
Yeah.
I'm getting a full man-wolf costume. And I'm just going to stalk up to him at a signing table and throw down a pendant with green hemp rope on it and a tuft of gray fur and go, "Arr!"
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
He will get it.
Yeah,
because
he'll totally get it.
that's like slapping with a glove in the werewolf comic world.
All right, I'll be behind you filming.
I don't need that, but fine.
No, you do.
Okay, Papa Jonah.
Just call me Papa Jacob from now on. It'll make me feel better.
Honestly, if we could connive Conway into being on the show, that would be one of the questions I would ask him. Please to explain Papa Jonah.
Papa Jonah. Oh, Conway, why won't he come on the show? Does he not like us?
I don't know.
We put his prose to audio drama.
He liked that.
He did seem to like that, but he hasn't. Yeah, I don't know if he likes us anymore.
I don't know if he would want to encourage us to talk about his earliest works as an artist. You know, I think it'd probably be like, if we got him on, he'd be like, I was 20. I'm 70.
I know.
I don't remember. What do you want from me?
Yeah, but as someone who's read a lot of comic history, I swear to God, 80% of the interviews, that's what it is.
Yeah.
They're just people being like, oh my God, how did you come up with this amazing thing? And they're always like, I don't fucking know. I had kids.
Somebody told me to do it, and I'd get paid if I did it.
I needed to buy groceries. So I just came up with this weird shit on the fly that you still care about for some reason. Yeah, that would always be my fear, is that those interviews would just kind of dissolve into that, of just being like, I don't remember.
Yeah. And then he'd just have a long pregnant pause and say, I feel sorry for both of you.
Yeah.
And then we feel bad about ourselves for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, that would do it. I'd get over it, though.
Yeah. Well, that was the origin of the Man-Wolf.
I love it. No, I really liked this 2-issue arc. I thought it was great. It's a great origin. Everything's there. And I'm excited to take it to weirder places, which I guess it goes.
It definitely goes. Yeah. And this would have been 4 to 6 issues today in decompressed storytelling.
Yep. This would have been a small trade.
Mm-hmm. But speaking of, I was looking at different stuff that could possibly do for our Patreon, for our Pack brothers and sisters, reviews of stuff. And there is a collection of Judge Dredd stories that are all werewolf related.
Really? That sounds awesome.
If I were to purchase one as a small gift for you, would you want to maybe do that as a bonus app?
Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I'm totally into it.
Okay, cool. I'd never seen them before, so I was shocked. Everybody who joins us at a tier above $1 a month gets access to our bonus show every single week. So the second tier up, you can get the audio download right in your normal podcast feed if you want. If you join us at another tier, you can get the audio or the video version. We're actually recording these and sharing those. And I'm going to be adding in, I haven't talked to Jacob about this yet, but I'm going to start adding in some art. When we talk about other comics and stuff, I want to throw some art in there. So it makes sense when we're doing the audio version of the bonus show. Of course, you're not going to have any kind of, belabor any kind of descriptions of stuff. But when we're doing the video version, I'm just going to throw in some stuff I grab off Google. It's the purposes of review. We're not, I don't think it's shady to do that. So we'll stick in some visual aids to help us out with some stuff. I don't want it to be too polished. Don't want to belabor the point too much, but I do want to make it rich. So if you do want to hear us talk about these things and actually see the art we're describing sometimes, join us and get that video level of the bonus show. So, Jacob, how do they reach us if they want to email us a drink cocktail or tell us how crazy we are for doing this Jonah Jameson thing?
Well, our email is werewolfbynightpodcast@gmail. We're also Werewolf by Night Podcast on Instagram. We are actually Werewolf Podcast on Twitter. And those are our main ones. We do, I think we're on Instagram and Twitter about the same, maybe a little more on Instagram. But I think our presence there is about equal, right?
I'm on Twitter quite a bit lately, maybe to a negative point.
Yeah, I always worry about that.
I've gotten into a anti-Comicsgate group. So that's like my feed now is warring people.
How's that feel?
Awful.
Nice.
And it's really weird. Ethan Van Sciver has grown a beard, so he looks exactly like Ted Cruz now.
Oh, that actually fits really well.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Oh man.
Yeah, so I'm kind of regretting wading into the thing. I was using it because I was like seeing what these nut jobs would post when they attack people that are more progressive, and I would block them because my initial goal was to make my comics Twitter feed pure as a driven snow.
Okay.
But that didn't work. So, there's a coin. Everything's a coin, right? There's an obverse to every heads, and there's the tails, the dirty, dirty tails of Comicsgate people. And man, they're fucking angry.
Yeah. Not sure why you waded into that, but
I also commented. I also make shitty comments about Zack Snyder fans, so that also made my feed interesting.
Wow,
those people are fucking jihadi psychopaths.
Yeah, you're really wow.
I'm just gonna keep blocking. I will get it right.
Okay, you're getting the algorithm right somehow.
Yeah, I thought it was science, but it's alchemy. So
yeah, it's definitely.
I need more
alchemy.
horse semen and virgin blood.
Yeah,
for the spell.
But our Instagram feed is pretty benign and just filled with nice images and fun things about us. So if you want the fun side of us,
yes,
Instagram is the way to go. Or definitely email us or just message us on Instagram with your drink recipes. Suggestions on what we should watch, what we should review, what we should read. And let us know what you think of this John Jameson season. We're liking it. We're getting a handle on it. So I'm hoping you're liking it too.
I will admit that I'm glad that the origin Spidey's my favorite character, but I'm glad this is out of the way. I want to jump into, I know that we're doing a Morbius Spider-Man giant size next time with Brad, Michael Elmore, which I'm super excited to see Brad again.
I know.
But after that, it dives into just straight horror for a while, and then it gets really weird. So I'm excited for that. I'm more excited about that than I was this. So good time revisiting the origin, but I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, I've been trying. I haven't really read too much ahead. I glimpsed a little bit at the issue for next week and a little bit at some of the Creatures on the Loose stuff, but I'm staying pretty pure. I'm not going in for any plot, just kind of seeing what was up. I'm very excited for George Perez.
Yeah, no
Holy
kidding.
Shit. So awesome.
Yeah. All right. So folks, let us know what your drinks are if you make one up, and check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/werewolfbynightpodcast. We'd love to have you there and have you check out the bonus show. This week, we're going to be talking about the 2014 werewolf movie, Late Phases. And I'm going to be talking about a comic called Barbaric from Vault Comics. I think Jacob has a record review. Check us out on the bonus show. It's a lot of fun over there. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Right
Hopefully see you on the bonus show.
Yeah. Until we meet again beneath the full moon, furry ones, here's howling at you.